Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you on Thursday. Hope all is well and you enjoyed a little bit of break from football last night. No Euros to watch, no games to keep us really gripped as they have done in recent days, but it'll soon be back enough. I'm sure you'll probably watch Love Island or something like that instead. But anyway, enough about Love Island. Let's talk about Arsenal, shall we? And again, we're beginning to see signs, a few things picking up. As I spoke yesterday, we're getting closer to the two first deals of the summer. Since that video, one deal has now been agreed. Obviously not signed and sealed yet, but it has been agreed, and that is over Benfica left-back Nuno Tavares, and I will get to that a bit later on in the video to say exactly where Arsenal stand with that, but that one getting very, very close now to being done. Just a little bit of a medical to sort out, and first, before that is signed, sealed and delivered, but I'll get to that in a minute. First, I wanted to talk about some sort of news that broke very, very late last night, or quotes that broke very, very late last night from the Sassuolo CEO. I'm sorry, I'm probably got that pronunciation terribly wrong. The Italian club, the CEO Giovanni Carnevali, talking about Locatelli. And yeah, this is what I had to say. Let's go straight into it. He said, Arsenal have made an official bid for Locatelli. He was speaking to Sky Sport Italia, was Carnevali. He said, Arsenal have made an official bid for Locatelli. They're pushing hard to sign Manuel, and it's an important bid. We will see. Also, Juventus want Locatelli. We've got a special relationship with them, with a new meeting scheduled with Juve. We're trying to leave the lad calm. So I haven't spoken to him or his agents yet. We can think about Locatelli's future, but above all, we care about his present, and that means Italy doing well at the Euros. So very, very interesting comments there from Giovanni Carnevali about Manuel Locatelli. Now, Locatelli's obviously had a fantastic Euros. Scored those 2 goals against Switzerland, played really, really well, was unlucky to not start the quarter-final. Actually, their first knockout, the last 32 game against Austria at Wembley, had to sit that one out. Thought he was very unlucky considering his performances in the group stage. He certainly was one of the kind of breakout stars of the group stages for Italy, and that Switzerland game in particular, when he scored both goals, was just fantastic. Not just with the goals, but his all-round play. That pass he delivered on I think it was his first goal, wasn't it? The pass out wide he delivered to start the move off, absolutely beautiful. And so there's been a lot of talk about him. All the talk is centred around the move to Juventus after the Euros. Juventus very, very keen on him. Arsenal have always been sort of in the background. They've been mentioned a few times with the interest in him, but this is the first time that anyone's ever really gone public and talked on the record about it and said, quite clearly, Arsenal have made an official bid for Locatelli. Now, I don't know if this is true or not. Obviously, this is a very senior figure at Sassuolo talking about it, but I haven't had this confirmed by anyone at Arsenal yet. So this is, as far as I'm sort of considering it at the moment, because I haven't had it confirmed or backed up, I'm still kind of considering it as speculation, despite the fact that who it's come from and that it's on the record, because I just haven't been able to confirm it myself and verify it. But it's certainly an interesting one. I mean, we know Arsenal are in the market for a midfielder. Yes, Albert Lugonga, who we'll get to later in this video, is on his way and should be an Arsenal player fairly soon. But as I've said before, he's only 21. He's coming from the Belgium league. If you're going to let someone like Granit Xhaka go, it's a big, big risk to replace him with an inexperienced 21-year-old who's never even played in one of Europe's top leagues before. So it's always felt like they're going to go for another midfielder as well. And there has been interest in Ruben Neves. There has been discussions with Wolves around Neves. Those haven't really gone anywhere yet. But he has been at the Euros as well, and so that was always kind of blocking things. And now, Locatelli comes into it, and obviously he fits the mould perfectly of the type of player Arsenal are looking for in that central midfield to replace Granit Xhaka, which sit in alongside Thomas Partey. Fantastic passer of the ball, breaks the play up, can play as defensive midfielder, can play as more box to box as well. Keeps the ball really well, which is something Mikel Arteta really likes and really wants. So he ticks all the boxes, but as I said, until I have this confirmed myself and I've had it verified from sources at Arsenal, then I can't really say for sure that this is absolutely going to happen. It's quite interesting that they've gone on record. It does, to me at the moment, kind of shout of let's get Juventus to pay up, because Juventus at the moment aren't paying the money that Sassuolo want for Locatelli, and this kind of feels like a bit of a bargaining move, perhaps, of like, look, Arsenal have made this big bid for him, so let's go on the record about that and try and convince and push Juventus into paying the sort of money that they want for him. It has, as soon as I saw these quotes, it was the first thing I thought of was this could well be a bit of a sort of media play by Sassuolo to try and prompt Juventus into action. You know, if Arsenal have made this bid and are looking at Locatelli, going public on it, to me, and having known how Arsenal operate and know how they work and know how they feel about things being in the media, it's not really going to impress Arsenal too much. And so that also sort of jumped out at me with this. But it's certainly interesting, and it's certainly got all you guys talking, because social media clearly was whipped up into a little bit of a storm when these quotes came out late last night, with Carnevale speaking to Sky Sport Italia. I mean, for me, it'd be a fantastic signing from what I've seen of him, and I haven't seen that much of him. This is a classic on the back of tournament type speak from me, because I haven't really seen too much of him in Serie A, I have to admit, but plenty of you guys have, or seem to have done, and the performance that he's shown so far for Italy this summer are very similar to the performance he's shown in Serie A last season, apparently. So for me, he looks like a quality player, class player, and he's a sort of player that Arsenal need. He's 23 again, which fits the mould in terms of the type of age group that Arsenal are looking at. So it's an interesting link, interesting speculation for now. And if I can get this firmed up, if I do get it verified, then you'll be first to hear about it on my social media channels and on Goal. But at the moment, for now, I'm still putting this in the kind of speculation bracket for me, because I haven't, no one has confirmed it to me. So that's where we are with Manuel Locatelli. Certainly interesting nonetheless. Okay, let's talk about Nuno Tavares now, shall we? Now, this is a deal that I can confirm is definitely very much on track and waiting to happen. A deal was agreed between Arsenal and Benfica for Tavares yesterday after about a week of negotiations. Arsenal have agreed to pay about €8 million, £7 million for the 21-year-old left-back. That could rise to about £8.5 million, so that's an extra £1.5 million on add-ons if various bonuses, that sort of thing, are hit during his stay at Arsenal. It's an interesting one. He's obviously coming in as backup to Kieran Tierney. He's not going to be a first choice. Arsenal were looking at a few other options this summer. I looked at Ryan Bertrand, Patrick Van Aanholt, those sort of players in the older age bracket who perhaps would be happy to come in and sit in as backup to a player like Kieran Tierney. They opted to go down the younger route, to bring in a player that they could develop over the next few years, and that's what they've done with Tavares if this gets done. Now, he has to have a medical yet. That medical hasn't taken place. Until that happens, then he hasn't signed officially. Personal terms and all that won't be an issue. It's just a case of passing the medical. As it stands, yesterday when I spoke to someone, it was currently unclear where and when that medical was going to take place, because they have to go through the whole COVID regulations and quarantine issues and everything like that, and it's trying to sort of work through in terms of exactly how it will be possible, when it will be possible. Could he come in and do the medical straight away and then potentially have to quarantine? Could he do the medical over in Portugal? That's all to be ironed out. So it might take a few days now before we get it confirmed. We'll have to wait and see. But the deal itself has been agreed between the clubs, signed off and finalised. So that'll be good news for Arsenal. They wanted backup for Kieran Tierney. They've got it now. I mean, he's very raw from what I understand. But Tavares has a lot of good points in terms of his athleticism. He's very good with both feet. He's good as an attacking fullback, can deliver very well into the box. I think he's got 4 assists and 1 goal in 30 appearances in all competitions for Benfica. I am told, however, he does have plenty of flaws at the moment in terms of his defensive capabilities. He's a bit rash. He makes some errors of judgment. Tackling isn't the best. All the sort of things you don't really want in a defender, but you have to remember he's only played 30 senior games. He's very raw. Arsenal bought him as potential to develop over the next few years and turn him into a quality player. So he's very much going to be a bit of a coaching project for Arsenal, and he kind of fits the bill, as I mentioned, with Locatelli. When you look at his age, these are the sort of players Arsenal are looking at now. They're looking at players to bring in and be able to develop over the next 2-3 years going forward. They've been burned a few times with buying the older players, and we'll talk about some of Willian a little bit later in this video as a prime example of that. And they've gone down a little bit of a different route this summer. And so Tavares is done. We're looking at Albert Lokonga, or Lokonga. I'm still getting that pronunciation wrong. I will learn it properly, I promise. Again, 21 years old. These are the sort of players that Arsenal are targeting. Whether they're going to come in and make an immediate impact in the Premier League, you would have thought not, especially when you could sort of look at Tavares and Lokonga. £25 million they're going to commit to playing for these two players. Are they going to come in and straight away go in the first team? Probably not. So they're not really going to improve things on the pitch straight away. and that's why plenty more needs to be done in this transfer window. Arsenal, I think this certainly improves the squad because it gives Arsenal proper left-back cover for Kieran Tierney. It also, Tavares can play on the right-hand side as well, and when you look at Lokonga, you're probably looking at him as taking Guendouzi, Torreira's place, that sort of thing in the squad for now. But then you need to, if you're going to sell Granit Xhaka, you need to bring someone else in who can play alongside Thomas Partey straight away, who's ready to play in the Premier League, who's used to playing against the top sides in Europe's top leagues. And so that's why I think we'll see more from Arsenal, certainly when it comes to the central midfield option. But good news about Tavares, though. Arsenal certainly be happy that they've got that one ticked off the list, and now they can focus their attention on completing a deal for Lokonga and then going on and bringing others in, which they certainly want to do over the coming weeks as the transfer window heats up. Right, one player who appears certainly for now is not on his way out is Willian. The Sun are reporting that he has or his potential move to Inter Miami has collapsed over personal terms. Now, Willian's been over in the States for a while now. He went over to Orlando. It's been long been linked with getting a deal done with Inter Miami. Now, Arsenal clearly happy to let Willian go. Willian open to leaving. It just hasn't worked, this relationship between the two so far. There was hope that Inter Miami could possibly be his next destination, but it appears certainly from this Sun report that over personal terms he will not be signing for them. They can't afford the demands, about £8 million a year or something like that, which was more than what Gonzalo Higuain is earning over there. And so the deal has fallen through, and that you would presume that Willian's going to be reporting back for pre-season just like everyone else, which starts next week for the non-international players. Honestly, I keep forgetting about Willian. I saw this story this morning, the Sun's report, and I thought, oh God, yeah, Willian is still an Arsenal player. It's just totally gone out of my mind since the end of last season. So that's obviously a bit of an issue. I think no one would cry over Willian leaving. I don't think he would. I don't think Arsenal would. And I certainly don't think the Arsenal fans would. It's just not something that has worked. And hopefully there's still sort of 6 weeks, whatever it is, left in this transfer window, and a club can be found for him, and everyone can move on. And I think that would be best for all parties. But it doesn't appear that it's going to be to Inter Miami. Okay, a couple of last little bits before I go. I'm sure some of you have probably seen the picture of the car that crashed on the M25 yesterday. Ainsley Maitland-Niles was rumoured to be inside that car. It kind of was spreading around WhatsApp and Twitter during the day yesterday. I think we were all aware of it. It was later confirmed. Arsenal have confirmed that Ainsley Maitland-Niles was in that car. They've confirmed to me that he is unhurt. He was back at home. They've been in contact with him. Police are said to be still making inquiries into the incident. I don't think no one was arrested or anything like that. It happened very early in the morning, about 6:30. I think on the M25. I mean, the car was on its side. It looked like a pretty nasty crash. Good job. It was a massive beast of a car for Ainsley, but apparently he was pulled out of it unhurt, which is good. That's the main thing. Police are said to be sort of still making inquiries into how the incident happened. But Arsenal telling me that they have been in contact with him. He is home and he is unhurt, and that is clearly the main thing for him, which is good news. And going to be a big summer for Ainsley Maitland-Niles this summer in terms of sorting out his future as well. And lastly, just on William Saliba, it seems like he has turned down the chance to head to Rennes on loan for this season. Now, Rennes tried to sign him last season on loan. That didn't happen in the end. They ended up getting Daniel Rugani from Juventus, and William Saliba was apparently very annoyed about that and kind of felt like they'd strung him along during the transfer window. And a lot of this, it seems like a lot of the reasons like Arsenal weren't kind of planning for him, and they felt that deal was happening as well. The fact that it all suddenly fell through, it all got a bit fraught at the end of the transfer window, and that's an issue why perhaps Arsenal weren't looking. There's just loads of issues why it all went wrong for Saliba, and Arsenal didn't manage to get him out on loan last season. But it's certainly the Rennes thing is clearly William Saliba hasn't forgot about it, and they've come back in for him this summer, and he has turned down the opportunity to go there on loan. Now, we know Saliba's agent was at Arsenal this week at London Colney talking to the Arsenal hierarchy, trying to sort out his future and what the best way forward is for Saliba. Will it be a loan deal? Will it be a permanent deal? I've said before, I think if you send William Saliba out on loan this summer, which I think probably looking like the most likely option, especially if Ben White does come in. I think the best thing for Arsenal to do is send him out into the Premier League so we can all have a proper look at him to see how he handles. The top flight and Newcastle are one of the clubs interested in William Saliba. So it'll be interesting to see where he ends up if he indeed does go out again this summer. But one place he won't be going, by all accounts, is Rennes back in France. All right, everyone, that's about it for me. Thank you for watching as always, and please do keep your eyes peeled across my social media channels and goal.com for all the latest Arsenal news. If anything happens throughout the day, you will see it all there first. Cheers, everyone. Have a good day.